Welcome to the Armenian Update. I'm Stephen Lund.
And I'm Molly Power.
For those of you who don't know, Armenia is a mountainous country located in southeastern Europe that acts as a gateway between the Middle East and Asia. It is bordered by Georgia, Turkey, Iran, and Azerbaijan.
Armenia has a population of just over 3 million people, and Christianity is the predominant religion.
We will begin by looking at the turbulent history of Armenia. Beginning in 1915, a genocide was set in motion by the Turks of the Ottoman Empire. By the early 1920s, between 600,000 and 1.5 million Armenians were dead, and many more were forcibly removed from their country.
Armenia was ruled by the Soviet Union until 1991, where it gained independence. Once Armenia gained independence, the country moved to a democratic political system and is currently governed by Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. The Armenian genocide, along with the influence and disbandment of the Soviet Union, contributed to a political and cultural climate that promotes patriarchal values.
We are now going to go to Leanne Langton, the host of the wildly acclaimed women's talk show, The Couch, to divulge into the major health issue of sex-selective abortions using feminist theory to guide our discussion.
Hi, I'm Leanne Langton, and welcome to this special live edition of The Couch, where a panel of experts are speaking on the topic of sex-selective abortions in Armenia. I'm speaking to Kennedy Schlosser, who studies feminism at the University of Saskatchewan, Ian Farr, who has the insider scoop on the cultural attitude existing in Armenia today, and Sherry Martin, who has been following the news about this crisis from her home in Ituna, Saskatchewan. So for viewers at home, here's a little bit of background information on Armenia. They have 13.46 births per 1,000 people a year and 7.6 infant deaths per 1,000 births. This does not include abortions. Sherry, did you know that Armenia has the third highest rate for abortions of female-specific fetuses in the world?
That's right, Leanne. More recent data also suggests Armenia records the second lowest female-to-male ratio in the world, right behind China. For every 114 boys born, only 100 girls are born. This imbalance of gender is forecasting an enormous disparity in the future of Armenia if this trend continues, as there will be an influx of single men.
Yeah, I also heard that within 10 to 20 years, Armenia could face a disproportion of women, which will lead to a decrease in fertility rates and eventually a demographic crisis. Ian, you're the expert on the emic view. Give us some insight about how women are viewed in Armenian family.
There are several papers that looked at the cultural attitude towards women in Armenia, showing inequality between the two sexes. For example, in Armenia, there is a word called bavakin. Bavakin is given to the last female child of a female-only family, which essentially means that's enough for having children. This implies a negative connotation given to only female children. In comparison, the first male child of a family is given the honor of being named after their grandfathers, while female children do not face the same. These views contribute to the culture of sex-selective abortions in Armenia.
Yeah, nearly the same percentage of women in Armenia reported that they had terminated a pregnancy at some point in their lives as those who reported having never terminated a pregnancy. Since independence, abortion remains the most widely used form of family planning due to its ease of access, affordability, low awareness on contraceptive methods, and social acceptance. This explains the lower than 20% contraceptive usage rate in the country, which contributes to the poor sexual and reproductive health of women, as rates of abortion remain high.
A research paper has also stated that there are three cultural influences that push for sex-selective abortions in Armenia: the desire to have a son, the need to grow a family, and available technologies to achieve that goal through ultrasound sex determination.
That's really interesting. Did you guys know that Armenia actually passed a law in 2016 banning sex-selective abortions and abortions after 12 weeks of gestation? Even with that law, women are still seeking other ways of having this procedure because of the shame associated with carrying female children. These abortions can be very dangerous for the woman, as they include putting rusty metals or other dangerous objects into their reproductive organs, jumping from high places, and having men walk on the back of pregnant women to abort the fetus. This can inhibit the women from future childbearing potential and can cause many illnesses, infections, and even death.
That's terrible. The government doesn't provide education or resources towards eliminating the gender equality contributing to these sex-selective abortions. The law passed in 2016 has caused controversy because feminists like me find a fine line between discussions on the choice of a sex-selective abortion rather than an abortion for other reasons.
Sex-selective abortions raise moral, legal, and social issues, reinforcing discrimination and sexist stereotypes towards women by devaluing and eliminating females. Although women in Armenia are seen in the workplace and receiving educations today, the history of misogyny is still prominent in comparison to other countries. A son is preferred for maintaining the family name, labor on the farm, and entering the military. Women are considered to be of no value outside the home, especially in the rural communities. The means that these women go to for having abortions puts their bodies and lives in danger.
Therefore, from a feminist point of view, there needs to be empowerment of women in order to protect their healths and their children's healths.
Thank you everyone for your expertise. But that's all we have time for today. Stay tuned for the next episode of The Couch. Back to you, Molly and Steve.